Welcome once again, race fans, to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Bassmaster, standing with Buz McKim, Hall of Fame historian, next to a case, Buzz, that displays some artifacts related to different milestones in NASCAR racing. And one of the most striking is this very bizarre-looking driver's suit. What in the heck is that thing?
Yeah, it looks a little uncomfortable, doesn't it?
It does.
This was from about the mid-'60s. Heat in a race car has always been a major factor for drivers, and no different with NASCAR. But in the mid-'60s, someone came up with the idea to adapt this Air Force equipment to racing, and it's a cool suit. And
it's a cool suit, but not a cool suit.
No, it's I don't even know is that cool. But famed car builder Banjo Matthews actually developed this. What happened was you see all those tubes running through the whole thing, and it's fairly lightweight material, so it slips under your fire suit. And then these tubes were hooked to a pump that was submerged in a cooler full of ice, so it would pump ice water through these tubes. The only problem is, on a hot summer day, if you're running a long race, that ice melts and then it starts pumping hot water through the tubes, and you're worse off than if you didn't have this contraption on. Most of these were only used a race or two, and then the guys realized it was not the hot tip. I know Buddy Baker tried one, Paul Goldsmith tried one, and it just really didn't do the trick.
Now, speaking of innovations, another innovation, obviously, communication between driver and team. We've seen the old pictures where they use big boards to communicate, hey, it's time to come pit.
Right.
This looks like a phone, but you're telling me it's a radio.
Yeah, it is a radio, and this was an old GI surplus deal. And evidently the guy who had the team went down to the Army surplus store and bought a bunch of these things. He had a radio dispatched wrecker service in Palm Beach. The fellow's name was Al Stevens. He came to Daytona to run the modified race on the beach in 1952, and he thought, well, gee, if that system works in the truck, I'll bet it'll work in the race car. So he put one in the car. This is the one that came from the race car. He also had a radio in the pits for his pit crew, but he also had the first spotters, and he didn't even realize it at the time. He had a guy in the north turn with a radio and a guy in the south turn. Now, the Daytona Beach racetrack back then was 4 miles in length. 2 miles up the beach,
right,
cut across the dunes, and you go 2 miles down the beach on pavement. So you had dirt on either end, you had sand, and you had asphalt, and it was chaos. But anyway, you're covering basically 2 miles of ocean front. So he was actually able to avert a couple of accidents due to the fact that his spotters told him about problems on certain parts of the track. So that is the first electronic communication between driver and crew.
Now, how quickly did that catch on? Obviously, it's ubiquitous today. Everyone does it.
It didn't catch on. In fact, some other guys in some other series tried it, and it was considered illegal, an unfair advantage. So everybody went back to the old chalkboards up until the late 70s when they started playing with electronics. And there were several different types that would work. Bobby Allison had a system that would work off the vibrations of his cranium bones. That's kind of bizarre, isn't it? But now everybody uses radios, and it's just status quo. But these guys were really the innovators, and it worked, but it just never caught on.
That's funny. So you didn't have to dial a number. You just pick it up and talk.
Pick it up, yeah.
You'll see that and many other incredible things, fascinating things, unusual things here in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Bassmasters. Thank you, Buz McKim, for your stories.
You're welcome.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.